Good job, Spyro! Now that you've taught the lizards how to behave themselves, the gem cutters don't have to worry about anyone stealing their jewels. They can go back to work harvesting and polishing gems for the rest of Avalar. They're even trying to train the lizards to help out, though that may be expecting a little too much from some of them. The workers of Idle Springs are famous throughout Avalar for the statues they carve. But now, some of these statues have been coming to life, scaring the workers and stealing their food. As always, the workers are trying to make the best of things, but usually a statue is just a statue. Way to go, Spyro! Now the workers can get back to their jobs. Even more importantly, they can get to their food. Yep, the workers love their barbecues. But they better keep an eye out for hungry idols. Spyro, this is Colossus. The monks who live here have spent most of their time chanting and meditating until a ferocious Yeti came down from the mountains and took up residence in the temple. Even worse, to keep the Yeti from rampaging through Colossus, the monks have to keep him well fed. Yep, Yetis will eat anything. Well done, Spyro! Now the monks can go back to more important things, like chanting and moving large objects with their songs. Here you can see how the apprentice monks learn from the masters. It takes a lot of concentration to move objects as big as these carved heads, and they don't often get it right the first time. Welcome to Huracos, Spyro! This stormy place is the home of the electoral scientists who provide Avalar with much of its power. Unfortunately, that bully Ripto has sent gear grinders to steal the energy, and they've activated electric barriers to keep the electrals apart. If you can help the electrals, they might do something special for you. Excellent, Spyro! The electros are now back in control of Huracos. These little guys are pretty upset over what the gear grinders did to them. So now they're going to have some fun teasing the gear grinders for a while. By the way, you're doing a great job foiling Ripto's plans for these worlds. Keep up the good work. Surf, sun, and sand. Sunny Beach used to be a paradise. At least before Ripto sent water workers to bring back turtles for his favorite meal, turtle shell souffle. Now the turtles spend all of their time trying to escape from the workers. Well, most of the time. Spyro, now that you've gotten the baby turtles away from the water workers, they can earn their shells and become a productive part of the turtle workforce. Before they do, though, they've decided to practice their diving skills with a little help from the water workers. Aquaria Towers used to be filled with beautiful underwater caves, but Ripto sent water workers who pumped the caves dry and built factories on top of the coral. Now the seahorses are dehydrating, and I don't think they'll last much longer. We need to help them quickly. Way to go, Spyro! You filled all the towers with water again. Now the seahorses can get back to doing what they do best, scaring the bubbles out of each other. They'll do anything for a laugh, although I don't think the sharks see the funny side. This is Badlands, and it's hot. The bone builders live here, making their huts out of the bones of long-extinct creatures. Unfortunately for them, the other creatures are always tormenting them. In fact, they've developed new sports around pestering the bone builders. This one is called the Bone Builder Toss. Now that you've gotten through Badlands, Spyro, you've inspired the bone builders to be a little more adventurous. They found that lava lizards can make great pets, as long as you don't get in their way. Recently, Ripto sent ice wizards to Crystal Glacier to kidnap Shaman Tuck. The ice builders have been sending commandos to rescue him, but they haven't been very successful. In fact, the wizards have turned all of them into big blocks of ice. I think they need someone who can turn up the heat and help them out. Good job, Spyro. Rescuing Shaman Tuck wasn't easy. Now the ice builders can claim the ice wizard castles as their own. Though I don't know how long they'll keep it if they don't lay off the extreme sports. Breeze Harbor is the home to the Breeze Builders. Recently, they've been fighting battles with the land blubbers from Zephyr. The Breeze Builders use steam power to drive their flying boats. Now the land blubbers have invaded and put out all of the fires. It's really weird. They got along fine until Ripto arrived. I think he's just trying to stir things up so that he can take over Avalar more easily. Breeze Harbor is the home to the Breeze Builders. Recently, they've been fighting battles with the land blubbers from Zephyr. The Breeze Builders use steam power to drive their flying boats. Now the land blubbers have invaded and put out all of the fires. It's really weird. They got along fine until Ripto arrived. I think he's just trying to stir things up so that he can take over Avalar more easily. This is Zephyr, what used to be a peaceful home for the land blubbers. Ever since Ripto arrived, though, the land blubbers have been fighting against the Breeze Builders. Now the Breeze Builders have invaded Zephyr and taken over the buildings. The land blubbers are trying to fight back with their cannons, but sometimes the Breeze Builders are a little too much for them to handle. Wow, Spyro! That was some explosion when you blew up the ammo dump. Now that the land blubbers are back in charge of their territory, I don't think they're going to treat the Breeze Builders too kindly. Oh well, maybe if you can get rid of Ripto, they'll be able to patch up their differences. This is Scorch, the hottest place in Avalar. The soldiers in Scorch are at war with the hippos from Shady Oasis. The hippos have sent 2 secret agents to invade the soldiers' headquarters. Unfortunately, the secret agents aren't too experienced. They may need your help. Hey, Spyro, way to go! Now the secret agents from Shady Oasis can do their job and wreak havoc in the soldiers' castle. What I want to know is, why didn't they use their secret weapon in the first place? Fracture Hills is home to fawns and satyrs. They lived here peacefully until Ripto sent Earthshapers to shake things up. Now they've turned all the satyrs to stone and even encased the fawn's temple in rock. Be careful, Spyro. Those Earthshapers are really strong and they've got a mean sense of humor. Hey, Spyro, you did it! Since a lot of my cousins live in Fracture Hills, I'm particularly happy that you helped them out. What's more, it looks like you may have convinced an Earthshaper or 2 that bagpipe music isn't all that bad. The fawns of Magnaon are relaxing and waiting for their big annual party. The problem is that Ripto has sent Earthshapers to activate the once dormant volcano. Now it's erupting, and the fawns are going to have to postpone their party, or at least find a better place to sunbathe. It's party time! These fawns have been waiting all year for their big celebration, and now that you've set off the volcano, they can party into the night. Things can get a little crazy here, though, so if you plan on dancing, just watch who you're next to. The hippos in Shady Oasis just love their magic berries. Whenever they eat the berries, they grow much bigger and stronger. Recently, though, thieves from Scorch showed up and began stealing the berries. Even worse, they've locked the hippos away from the great berry bush. Now the hippos are hungry again, and they can't catch the thieves. Things aren't looking too bright in Shady Oasis.
Welcome to Huracos, Spyro. This stormy place is the home of electoral scientists who provide Avalar with much of its electricity. Unfortunately, that bully Ripto has sent his gear grinders to steal the energy. The gear grinders now have activated electric barriers to keep the electrals apart. Find the diodes and use them to free the electrals.
Well, this time, Ripto has gone too far. The peaceful wizards of Cloud Temples have always used their magic to create happy creatures to populate their world. Now Ripto has sent warlocks to take over the temples. They've turned all the happy creatures into gargoyles and have stolen the wizards' wands. Without their wands, they're helpless. Good job, Spyro! Now that you've taught the lizards how to behave themselves, the gem cutters don't have to worry about anyone stealing their jewels. They can go back to work harvesting and polishing gems for the rest of Avalar. They're even trying to train the lizards to help out, though that may be expecting a little too much from some of them. Welcome to Huracos, Spyro! This stormy place is the home of the electoral scientists who provide Avalar with much of its power. Unfortunately, that bully Ripto has sent gear grinders to steal the energy, and they've activated electric barriers to keep the electrals apart. If you can help the electrals, they might do something special for you.